It's Peter Mead, and welcome to the SEO Surgery APAC for the SEO community in Australia, Asia, and Pacific region. It's the first episode for 2019. Very excited. We're back here again with three terrific SEO guests. And so just see some people joining the webinar. While we're waiting for more people to join, I'll whip around and I'll introduce the panelists. So firstly we have Paul Lovell, who specializes in international SEO, SEM, PPC, is well known for growth hacking and log analysis. So welcome, Paul. How are you? What's hot for you in SEO right now?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm really looking at image compression and scaled images and seeing how we can really sort of like scale that for some of the larger sites out there, where the typical issue is going to be when you've got multiple images on a site, and really sort of understanding how we can solve that issue when you've got like hundreds of thousands of images on a site, which becomes problematic. Log analysis, I've just been working on a very large site with about 150 million pages, so really trying to help those guys out with some technical issues they've got.
Okay. Oh, thanks for that and welcome. So next we have Sona Bulgadaryan. She is an SEO analyst and she works at Agile SEO in Israel. And she also volunteers in the Armenian Children NGO. So let me just say that again, I'll get that right this time. Armenian Children NGO. She's a blogger and a specialist in reputation management. Welcome, Sona. So nice to have you with us. Yeah, what's happening in SEO for you?
Hello, everyone. So currently I'm looking at the Java single-page application website, which has multiple pages, more than 100,000 pages, and how to index them and how not to lose the number of index, because the single-page application websites, sometimes they go down and sometimes they go up. So this is what I'm working on now, and analyzing the log files for this kind of websites.
Okay, sounds quite interesting. Thanks for joining. Next, we have Dejan. He's an SEO specialist at Prosperity Media. He focuses on technical and in-depth SEO and authority link acquisition. He also runs Sydney's authority urban development website called Build Sydney. So welcome, Dejan, and so great to have you here as well. What's hot in SEO for you right now? What are you focusing on?
Thank you, Peter, for the introduction. Thank you, everybody else. Hi, team. So yeah, what's hot in 2019? Schema for sure. Like, whichever way you look at it, every site, I think in 2019, in order to stand out, is going to need schema. I think position zero is becoming a bigger factor. 50% CTR in a lot of instances and cases off observed. And I think it's just going to become bigger and bigger moving forward.
Okay. Well, that's a nice tip for everyone right there. So yeah, I can see people are joining onto the webinar. So I think we won't waste any time. Let's get started on the first website audit. And so the first one is Sona, and she's doing a website, smesg.com. I hope I've pronounced that right. smesg.com. So Sona, what happened? How did you go with this site? Did you get some tips for our guest, or can you run us through your results?
Yeah. Is it okay if I'm sharing screen or?
Yeah. Yes, I can see that.
Okay. So I checked the website. In the overview is that it's poorly optimized for keywords. It's like not clear what keywords each page are targeting. And I went through multiple things, the crawling, rendering, on-page optimization, keywords, and I have some extras. So I'll go through them.
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing is when looking at the indexed pages, I found some weird attachment URLs which should be redirected to a post or a page, but they're indexed, some are blank, and all of them are full screen -page directory. You can see in the screenshot. Some of them are real, they're images, but majority are blank. So it's like it wastes the crawl budget and it needs to be removed from the index. Another thing that I've looked at, because of course we don't have webmaster access, I'm not sure if the website is mobile first indexing is enabled or not. I have some tips how they can check. Usually Google Webmaster doesn't send a message if it is enabled or not. So one of the tips is just to look at the log files, and if in 1 month crawled page is 70% and more is mobile, it means that it is the mobile first is enabled. And other ways to look at the mobiles, if you don't analyze currently, you can just export it from the cPanel and then import in Semrush, or use SEOlizer or Screaming Frog, or even check manually using Excel to see what is happening with the website. Another good tip is, like, if you didn't get the message, you just go to the Google Webmaster tool to inspect URL inspection. And if you see that any page is crawled using Google, using the smartphone bot, then it means it is already optimized. So you will need to go through the documentation and start fixing any issues that is in the mobile version. Also, I found in the robots.txt file a weird sitemap, which is m.smscg.com. It seems to be mobile sitemap, which is not available, so you'll need to delete it because the crawlers try to reach it and they get stuck. I looked at the URL structure. So the important pages like business loan, there is another URL structure, blank, -1, or lifeline account recovery. When crawler checks the website, it goes and clicks to the anchor text, and then it reads the URL. So these are the communication parts where the crawler understands where it is going to. So if the anchor text tells something else and the URL tells something else, and the title and the H1 don't match, so the crawler gets confused. You need to do proper keyword research. And for example, for lifeline account recovery page, I thought could be good keyword like bad debt recovery, which has 1,300 searches, or recovery service, and optimize the page by changing the URL to bad debt recovery, and then the title tag and the H1. From the top navigation menu, it links using bad debt recovery keyword. So it's really good start, but need to optimize also the page. Yeah, and the same recommendation for business loan. For example, business financing solution, it has really low searches, but really high competitive. But as the URL, like biz loans, it doesn't look good, and because the website doesn't have much traffic now, you can change the URL and redirect to business financing solution, write proper meta title description using the keyword, and also using the term inside the content wherever it makes sense. Headings. So this is a service page. I found that homepage also doesn't have a proper H1 tag. It doesn't have the correct keyword there. And other service pages, none of them have any H1 or H2. It's important to categorize and give hierarchy for crawler to check and understand what is the page about. So if the title text says debt financing solution, and there should be also a H1 talking about the same term, and the content also. So I checked how Google sees the website and found some terms: business financing solution, very low competitive keywords with very less search volume, and this is a good start. But I'm not sure if the keyword that you want. So each page has to have its own keyword, and even if it's low competitive and has low search volume, you should target it and get ranked for it. This is because there was no blog on the website. This is just an idea how to rank better, have more organic traffic. You may do keyword research, find those keywords which are low competitive or medium competitive and are like low-hanging fruits, and create a section in the website which could be resources, can be white papers, case studies, can be even a blog, and start writing content pieces about them. This is an idea for a blog and the structure. How can a blog be ranked well? And even the main blog has a keyword which is could be financial blog. It is really competitive and low search volume, but it's not. It doesn't mean that you might get ranked for this keyword, but the crawler will understand that you have content pieces about financial things, and the blog should be categorized, and each category should have an very broad keyword, such as debt management, for example, with a very high search volume. And inside this category, you will have articles about debt management. So how the crawler will understand, the URL structure is different, like it's slash and the category name. So it could be like slash debt management, and then the post would go debt management and slash and post title. The crawler will understand that this article is about debt management and it has different topics related to debt management, and the blog posts will start to rank even with the low search volume terms, but you will start to get you'll increase the organic traffic slowly and nicely with different type of terms. And the same kind of thing can be done in resources, or maybe another section if you want to create for the content. Another issue I found that even on the desktop version, the website is not responsive. You can see, you can like with the mouse, you can go right and left. And the same with the tablet version. It's not good for users, and it's and for crawlers. And canonical tags. So the website, in none of the pages there are any canonical tags. I recommend using them. Why? Because if there is no canonical tag, Google selects it itself. And you can see in the screenshot, this is from the URL inspection tool in Google Webmaster, where if you don't, user doesn't declare a canonical URL, Google selects its own. And usually it doesn't make sense, or usually it's not what you want to be. So actions are to add self-referencing canonical tags and also non-self-referencing. For example, in pages which have perimeters, you need to have canonical tag pointing to the main page. The brand search, there is a schema structured data in the left side, but currently when I search on the brand term, there is only homepage and then LinkedIn page and Facebook page. You could also have a lot more pages under the homepage, something like this. And to implement it, you'll need to use a site navigation element. This is an example of the code. Also, there was no structured markup, organizational structured markup on the website, which is bad, but you have to use it. Also, use same as tag to show social profiles and any other information that you have. I think there could be rendering issue with the website. This is what I received when checking the structured markup, and this side you can see the screenshot of the Screaming Frog crawler, and half of the content is not available. So you have to check using Google Webmaster Tool, and if you see a blank page, if you don't see the whole content on the rendered page, you'll need to implement several actions to let the crawler render the page correctly. And the website speed, in desktop version, it looks really good, but the mobile one doesn't. The reason is I use the Google speed test tool. Why? Because it's implemented, it integrated the Lighthouse and the previous speed test tool, and now it has better results. And you can see what is the issue and fix it. Mobile version, Google uses Frigid. That's why the score doesn't match with the desktop. So you'll need to optimize the speed for the mobile also. Okay, I have some extras. So this is just an idea for a keyword. Whatever. When I checked the homepage, I saw cash management, capital funding. These are the terms. But if you have any other terms, this can apply to others also. So an idea is to make another keyword research using cash management keyword, finding other long tail keywords, and starting to implement content strategy using pillar pages and cluster pages. And keywords can be, for example, if it is cash management, it could be what is cash management techniques, cash management process, and give user information what it is. And it shouldn't be any promotional content. It has to give user information so that user will read, understand, and then after that ask you something, and this will be your conversion. Maybe not ask, maybe request a call, maybe a demo. And after the content, you may have a CTA or you can have a pop-up, but you'll need to let the user read the content until the end and then only expect a conversion from that. This tactic, I think it will help for this kind of website, and it will be pretty useful. If you don't know what is pillar page and cluster pages, yeah, I have a screenshot to explaining it. So the pillar page is a one page where you link all other cluster pages. Pillar page is about, for example, cash management. It talks a paragraph about cash management and what the page has. And cluster pages is a section for what is cash management process. And cluster pages talk everything about cash management, but targeting different type of keywords. I think that's it. I think I was very fast. So let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Sona. You've uncovered a lot of information there. There's lots here for the website owner to take away. I do like what you're saying about the topic clustering, the pillar pages, and the topic clusters. I think they work so well, especially when you can do your internal linking structure working well to support those topics. I think that works really well. So that's my comment. Do the other panelists want to also have a quick comment on this site?
Yeah, I've just noticed something which I found quite strange. So the homepage, for some reason, when you pulled up the slides of the actual indexing in Google, for some reason, the title tag is different to the actual homepage title tag right now. So if we go back one more, I think no, it must have been a bit more through it. Keep going. It was in the search engine result page.
Oh, I don't have the home page. Yeah, this is not the home page. I'm showing here the pages which are like wasting the budget of crawl and they're indexed. And
I think it was somewhere further along. It was somewhere further along. If you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep going. Here. So yeah. It says SME Financial Services PT Limited. For some reason, the title tag on the actual homepage is different.
Cash management, and yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. this is another issue. And
it's interesting why it hasn't picked it up.
One of the reasons is because I searched brand term. So if when you search different kind of terms, Google tries to show you the correct, even if you declare the title tag, it will show you something else. So if it doesn't reply to the search query what I searched, it will not show. So I searched for the brand term. That's why it's showing a brand term. If I would show, I think, cash management or some other long tail keyword, it would show correctly. This is the kind of issue I face whenever doing the work.
Oh, so what you're saying is it's dynamic title generation based on what you're searching? Because I've just tried searching the URL into Google. I'm getting, again, SME financial services, but on the actual site, it's actually coming up as a different title tag when I'm viewing the source. So I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, just yeah, thanks for that. We'll just, Paul, I want to ask you, do you have anything you want to add or any comments you want to make?
Yeah, definitely. The thing that I noticed is that they're not using HTTP2 at all, which will obviously help speed up their site. And also, just 1 second, if they look at their images, just by compressing the images on their homepage, they could shave nearly a second off their load time. So they're a couple of bits that speed, yeah. So they could take almost a second off their load time on their homepage. That's the only one that I really looked at for them.
Thanks for that, because Paul, we've had a couple of questions from our audience, and one of them here is from our viewer, Insight Design. The question is, if you optimize your homepage and it loads at approximately 3 seconds, is that fast enough?
It could be much better if it would be 1 second or 2 seconds. 3 seconds is, minimum, but best is, of course, 1 or 2 seconds. But if you can optimize until that, it's great.
I mean, the ultimate answer is as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It's nice when I always get that real, punchy air when I get a website down under 1 second. I'm like, yes, and screenshot that, save that screenshot, when you do the speed test. Another question here is, which was from Ryan Kelly. How many times would you recommend listing a keyword on a page before it comes spam? Did you want to say something about that, Dejan? Or Sona, jump in, guys.
Yeah, I would like to say, so you should use the keyword as long as it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, you cannot use the exact term. Use it in separate words. For example, if it is 3 words, use 3 words separately. Business financing, or use business and then financing separately. But never overuse it. Like, just don't use it just for using. Use it because content is about that.
Yeah, I agree with Sona. I mean, just use it so long as it's relevant. Google understands the context of the page as it is, so it's gonna, listing that type of keyword once is gonna be enough for Google to understand the intent and the, I guess, the value of the page, what's on it. Like, they're gonna know. I mean, there's no point in spamming keywords. Google came out a while ago with this type of behavior, so it's best just to use.
We'll just go to the next question. So we have a question here from Gurang, and the question is, how can we define EAT for our internal web pages and external content? I don't know, Paul, did you do much with the EAT? What's your take on this?
It's all about authority, isn't it? I mean, it is just about creating good content. And then you're not really going to have a problem. If you're going to go after a certain metric, then of course you're going to run into issues. But generally, just creating good content is all you're going to need to do. If you're going to try copying and scraping and all those different types of things, then of course you're going to run into problems. But just generally good quality content, and you'll be fine.
Thanks for that. So actually, Sona, would you mind just to stop sharing your screen? That way we can see you again and talk with you. And so we'll just go on to So yeah, great audit. Let's move on to the next one. The next site, the second site audit, is Paul, who is doing figandbloom.com.au. So Paul, how'd you go? Is there a lot for our website owner to focus on? Is there a lot of opportunities for them to improve?
Yeah, so on auditing this one, we could see that there was lots of basic issues that need to be taken care of. Really, it's a case that the numbers look quite dramatic, but the problem isn't that huge, to be honest with you. So I'll get cracking, and then we get through it. So first of all, let's how they're linking internally, so we can understand exactly what they're doing as a site in general. Now we can see here they've got a huge amount of internal links going to 404 pages. Like you're talking like 1,607. Now the issue there isn't really the case that it's yeah, obviously 404s are an issue, but they've only got that amount. But the most important thing is it's actually only 2 URLs that are causing the issue, except it's just site wide. It's like literally everywhere, and that's what's causing this issue. So just by fixing a couple of pages quite quickly, you'll be able to get rid of this what looks like a huge problem, when realistically it's quite a small issue. It's only 2 URLs. From there, we can see that they're also linking to some 404 images as well. So we know businesses like to keep up to date with their catalogs, especially this type of business. You're talking it's a florist, so they're always going to be constantly changing for different times of the year, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, etc., etc. But it's important that they, keep their house tidy, remove the URLs properly. They're actually linking to these internally, so there's links on their page going to these images, and obviously they're not showing very well at all because they don't even exist on the server. From here, we can see they've also got a lot of 301s to like just under 18K of 301 redirects. Again, this is a simple issue to fix. It's just a case of that they're linking to the version of the URL without the slash on the end. So just a simple update of their links internally to include that trailing slash on the end, and they'll eradicate this problem quite quickly. So as we know, like internally, if you're linking and you've got a 301, you could be reducing your internal page rank, so that you're going to not allow Google to crawl through quite effectively. And then again, they're also linking to their development area as well. So the guys that are looking after the website, when they've pushed the latest update through, they're actually including links to their dev dot version of the website as well, which is also in HTTP, which their site's HTTPS. So you're going to be causing some like insecure content, let alone the fact that it's the development area. So it's not going to create a very good user experience. This one was quite a shock. I mean, they're actually putting no follow tags on their internal links. So whilst Google's going through, I mean, like the no follow tag is a way that website owners can sort of like pass a vote, so to say, to additional pages, which is fine to have a no follow on an external link for whatever reason, whether it's a sponsored ad on your site, for example, or an affiliate site. But when you're talking internal links, they should all be follow, because you're wanting Google to attribute that value throughout your website to increase your overall website presence. From there, we also found a sitemap issue. It's a bit of an odd one. Sitemaps are shown as not valid. They do exist. I mean, and even the tools that I use aren't able to crawl it. And putting it simply, the problem is because the code starts on line 3, and that's the same for all of the sitemaps. So there's obviously something's being adjusted within the sitemap section, and it's allowing the code to start on line 3, which is flagging it as invalid. And a lot of the tools that I use couldn't even crawl the sitemaps individually, let alone as a sitemap index is what you're seeing here. So you're hindering Google from being able to keep up to date with changes by looking at the last mod date within your sitemap. So again, it's just all of these items adding up together. 301s, 404s, sitemaps not valid. You're making it hard for Google to crawl your site. Yeah, they're clever, but we can certainly point them in the right direction and make them crawl more effectively quite easily. So that's the end of that section. I then started looking into speed, which obviously became a ranking factor in July. So it's really quite important to understand where you can make some real quick wins. I looked at 2 pages, the home page and the Sydney page. You can see the home page was like 8.5 seconds, Sydney page 6.8. If you look at the number of requests, there's quite a lot of requests going on there as well. So there's certainly some improvements that can be made to help speed this site up. One of them you can see being the top there is serve scaled images. So when you've got images on your site, for example, you've got an image from your developer, you've uploaded it onto the server, it's like 4,000 pixels by 2,000. You want to stick that into a box of 800 by 800 for user experience. The browser has to go and get that image and then rescale it, and it's all time. And in this world now where everything is down to seconds and milliseconds, it all adds up, and it certainly can help speed things up. So that's scaled images, as well as like obviously browser caching and some phrasing of JavaScript that can be taken care of, which are a little bit more technical. But simply, I mean, like when you're uploading the images to this WordPress site, they can certainly do things with them. They're in control of that. The next one I looked at was the compression of the images. You can see that on the home page that they can take almost three quarters of a second off, which some website owners would scream about if they could take that amount off just by compressing their images. And then you look at the fact of their Sydney page is like almost 1.5 seconds. So there's some very quick wins that they can have to speed their site up quite effectively. And obviously they're in the WordPress environment, so a lot of plugins can take care of this for you. It's not something that should be too much hardship for a WordPress site owner to really sort of like speed these things up and take care of them quite effectively. The next part we went into was alt tags. Obviously, they've got like over 1,600 images with no alt tags. Obviously, John Mueller turned around recently and said it's obviously very helpful for Google image search if you've got alt tags there, because it helps them let them know what the image is about. Obviously, this is a florist. I believe that it'd be quite a good sort of tactic for them to really sort of like focus on image search a little bit for people that are looking for some good ideas for those all important days like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, etc. Because it gives them the opportunity to show up. And obviously, when you've got like 1,600, then it's quite a lot of images that need to be taken care of. And then, yeah, again, HTTP2. There's plugins for WordPress. I've not used them personally myself, but essentially what this does, HTTP2, instead of allowing the files to be served individually in a row in order, always waiting for the next file to download to make that page up, it effectively allows all of those files to be accessed at the same time. So then that way it can really speed that initial call that the browser's making for the website. So again, it would just help speed things up. So a little summary there is fix the 404 and the 301 errors. Look at page speed and how you can increase that in different ways. Image compression and served scaled images, alt tags, and certainly move to HTTP2, and that will certainly help speed the site up. Take care of the internal linkings so Google's able to crawl the site effectively, and your site's a little bit quicker. Obviously, this is only like a 10-minute audit. Usually, my audits when I go with my clients take like, I had one the other day, it was like 2 hours. So it's very brief, the audit itself. But there's certainly a lot that can be taken care of internally that the website owner's got control of. And that's it. That's me done.
Thank you, Paul. So, wow, it's a lot of quick wins there. I'm picking up just things like obvious thing, your images. I mean, yes, what I would say, absolutely back you up on the idea of, for such a visual thing such as flowers and that sort of thing, you want images to be coming up. It could be another strategy for them to start getting some image search. So definitely fixing up the size of the images, working on the alt attributes of those. There could be something there. Is there any comments? Sona, did you have any other extra comments to add on to that?
I've been looking at the structure of the URLs, categories, and then the product URLs. So I would change the navigation and link category URLs from the top navigation, because they're important, and it will help the crawling and for the ranking. That's the only comment I have.
There was one more thing actually about the menu that I noticed, and that was when you're on the site and you actually click into the more section, the link itself, let me just get it up quickly. The link itself, that's it. So when it loads up, I didn't have the site loaded in my end. Oh, that's it. So when you click on the more section, it's a drop down part of the menu, but the actual more itself is clickable, which then appends a hashtag onto the end, which essentially is creating a duplicate of the homepage as well. That's one part that I missed out.
I've just got I've got some questions here. So Dejan, did you want to make a comment about the site audit, or would you rather just maybe answer a couple of questions we've got from people? I'll hand it over to you.
I just had a quick look at the site. I mean, there was like multiple HTML on the page.
What sort of things? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like the robots.txt didn't contain sitemap URL, little things like that. So they've got a bit of work to do. It's quite obvious just looking at a quick glance. But I thought the audit was quite good that Paul did.
Tweaking some of those things, I guess they're the bread and butter things. You're a baseline SEO type of things. With maybe do some of that, and then focus on speed. Focus on appearing well in mobile. I think everybody who's looking for flowers will be on their mobile phone probably in the lunch break looking. Yeah,
I did look at their mobile site. It is actually quite good. There wasn't anything that I noticed where it wasn't showing correctly on mobile. It seemed quite slick.
I've just got a question here. Yeah, thanks so much, Paul, for doing that. There's a lot for the site owner to take away. I just want to hand over quickly, just to quickly go into one of these questions before we go over to Dejan's audit. The question here is about hreflangs. I guess, we're talking here hreflang tag, whether it be, using the meta tag or whether we use XML sitemaps. But the question here is, how important is it to solve this if we only serve content in Australia and the content for other countries are just defensive types? I mean, I'm just trying maybe read between the lines a bit here. It looks like they do have a multi-country strategy. I mean, my first response is, if you're going international, you need to take care of hreflang. It's just a basic thing that everyone should do when you're going into multiple countries. But Paul, what's your take on hreflang?
Yeah, hreflang is really important. It helps Google understand what version and what language each part of the site is. So even if you've got multiple English-speaking languages that you're wanting to help Google understand, whether you're using a separate domain names or whether it be subfolder strategy or subdomain strategy, it's about Google understanding that this isn't duplicate content. It's actually content which is for a specific region. So if you're wanting to target, say, Australia, Singapore, UK, America, essentially they're all English-speaking languages, so the content's going to be very, very similar. So it's about important to have that code in place so that Google can understand, oh, actually, it's not duplicate. It's actually for this specific region or this part of the globe.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So, well, thanks for that. So let's just keep going now. We're fast moving along in time. So next we have Dejan, and So Dejan has, I've given him this site, the canberrahomebuilders.com.au. So Dejan, what happened? Did you find a lot of opportunities here? Was there a lot that a website owner can go away and work on? You would take us through your audit.
Yeah, so 100%. Just quickly, like there was quite a few like on-site technical issues, which I will go through. So yeah, like there was actually quite a few things the owner can work on, so which I'll go through right now. So we'll start off with the technical issues. So basically, the site's run on WordPress, and here's a short code from a WordPress plugin. It's clear that it hasn't worked. This could easily be to something due to like them updating the WordPress CMS itself and the plugin not being compatible. But it's just something to look into for the developer. I've noticed meta keywords exist. Now, Google came out in 2010, and they pretty much stated that meta keywords should not be used on sites. In fact, they can be seen as a spam signal on many occasions because it's those, I guess, the exact anchor text keywords that they're targeting. So it's highly recommended that they take those off the site. Found multiple H1 tags on quite a few pages, including the homepage. So basically, when you're using H1, think of H heading tags as like a book. You want one H1. Can never be one title to a book, and in this instance, there's multiple titles. So I think picking the most appropriate H1 tag for the page would help in the SEO rankings. So the website is currently not on HTTPS. Now, Google's come out and said HTTPS is a ranking factor, and it's, I guess, just makes the site, I guess, more trustworthy in the eyes of the user. And yeah, it's definitely something to look into. It doesn't necessarily need to be a wildcard SSL where you pay $400 a year. It can just be your standard run-of-the-mill wildcard, just something better than a shared, because I feel like they don't really send too much of a trust signal to Google. So I found a broken image. So it's on one of the pages. I believe it was I'm not too sure actually which page. It's an internal page talking about knockdown rebuild, but they had this like image, which I take it was supposed to be some sort of like a menu, but for whatever reason, they've just used an IP address in front of the URL, and what it's doing, it's resolving it, seeing it as an external URL and sending the traffic outbound. So what they can do is remove the 192.168.1.0/www/, and the image should render correctly because I viewed the URL image and it works perfectly fine. So it just shouldn't be something quickly to take an update. They had a broken internal link, so for whatever reason, there's multiple contact us pages, but this particular contact us button was leading to contact us, home design / contact us, which doesn't exist. So for whatever reason, it could be either down to the script or it could be down to the permalinks. It's just not directing correctly. So either they can remove it or they can just update it to the correct contact us page. So speed issues, it's funny, I did a page speed test on Google and it was timing out no matter which way, which browser I use, or if I tried using my phone. So it's clear that it could be down to a server issue. So it's definitely something to look into on the server side of things. I also did notice the site, when I scraped it on Screaming Frog and Sitebulb, both were having issues and they were returning different page mounts every time. So there's definitely some issue with the server going on. I noticed also there's no open graph marker, which is used to display on Facebook. So basically, there's no images or any like tags or any headings that automatically comes up when you paste the link of home button.
We just
basically there's no
breaking up a little bit there,
being used, which is something to look into again.
Keep going.
And I know geotags are used, so this is more schema on a site target certain city. It's like geo. And
Dejan, we're just not sure. We're just breaking up a little bit there from your end.
Can you hear me? Is that right?
Yeah, seems to be a bit better now. I'm just letting you know that it has broken up a few times for us. Yeah, we're just missing. I missed a lot of what you said then. Perhaps just go back to the previous slide and Yeah, we'll just try again.
There you go. There.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So geotags are very, very important in 2019. So I mean, geotags are basically a schema marker which you can use to put onto your site to tell Google whereabouts your business is. And it's obvious that they've not put this markup on, which is actually quite important considering they're targeting a local demographic and a local area, which will give them a nice boost if they do. It just localizes search again. So there's no schema on this side of any kind. I used this structured data testing tool on both a blog.
No, I think we're losing you now, Dejan. Yep. Sorry, it looks like. Sorry, folks. It looks like we've lost Dejan completely now. So we'll just have to wait and see if Dejan can get his connection back. It looks like he's lost his connection. So other than that, look, I think in the meantime, what we'll do is I do have a couple of more questions here, actually, from our viewers, and the one question here, which actually I thought was quite a good one. One question here is about optimizing for voice search. So, I guess with optimizing for voice search, I mean, I don't know, is it a big deal? I mean, when I was in London, we had the SEO 2019 predictions, and some of the discussions were talking about picking up on Alexa skills and that kind of thing. But there was a discussion both ways, where some people were saying perhaps it's not necessarily a very functional type of search when someone does a voice search, and but I don't know. I'm just interested. Some people are divided. Some people say voice search is absolutely going to be, the next big thing. Everybody in the world will be searching by voice. Other people say, no, it's going to be important, but it's not necessarily going to be the biggest thing ever. Do you have something to say about that, Paul?
Yeah, so with voice, you've got to remember that traditionally when people are on mobiles, the search queries are a bit shorter. People with voice generally ask questions more than anything else. I think search is going to get some traction. I don't think it's worth really focusing on it too much right now, but it's definitely worth, like, as the SEO industry in a whole, to really sort of like keep up to speed with the changes that are going on there. Like you mentioned, Alexa, and you've just had the new Google Home like tab type thing come out as well. So the guys like Alexa and Google Home are definitely laying some budget into those technologies. I believe that they are going to be of use at some point in the future, but as of when, that is the question. And more importantly, it's going to be like how's Google going to monetize it? They're going to monetize it in some way if it's got any decent traction to it. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves as time goes forward.
Welcome back, Dejan. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like your connection must have dropped out completely there.
Which part was I up to?
Well, that's a good question. I think you were talking about schema. Perhaps
a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, is there many more? Maybe do you want to go back quickly and just perhaps finish off and give a few takeaways for the website?
Yeah.
Catch up on a little bit of time and perhaps fast forward a little bit through that. If you're able to bring up the slides.
Yeah, no dramas at all. So let me get that back on for you. So let me screen share. Is you seeing that fine?
Perhaps I can see the screen, so perhaps maybe jump through to the bit where you're talking about the schema, and if you want to, maybe we'll move quite quickly because we're kind of running out of time. So.
Yep, no problem. So schema. So basically, there was no schema on the site whatsoever. which was quite a problem. I mean, 2019, I talked about it earlier, position zero, it's very important. And yeah, you should definitely be looking into using schema like @local_business for like the homepage, and using @article for like some of the internal blog posts that they have. So quickly running through organic search positions, currently where home builders is ranking in Canberra. I mean, look, there's a lot of low-hanging fruits here, and there's a lot of potential, so to speak. Pretty much what it's going to take is just fixing up all the technical issues internally, and I guess building a few more authoritative backlinks to key pages. So they're currently ranking for home builders Canberra and Canberra builders. I mean, these are good keywords. They may be a little bit broad match, but it's definitely what their business is about. More or less, it's going in the right direction in terms of the intent of the page and where they're ranking. All it's just really going to take is just clearing up a few mistakes and fixing a few of their backlink issues, which I'll go into right now. So if you look at their backlink profile, the reason those pages specifically were ranking well is because majority of their links are going to the home page. There's no internal deep linking from any authoritative pages, which definitely could be improved on. If we look at the anchor text, this is where I found the issue. So there was some anchor text, it's called like a full stop, and a no text, which is not really to do anything to do with the site, and it definitely should be looked into. Potentially could be spam, potentially could be disavowed, could be another reason why the site isn't doing as well as it should for its own brand term. And yeah, that is the end of my audit.
Okay.
Let me try to run through that for you guys.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for doing that. So, I mean, I'm sorry you got disconnected there. We're a little bit jumbled up. But what would be, if I just asked you right now, off the top of your head, what would be something, a low-hanging fruit they could just work on straight away? You know, an easy thing for them to achieve.
Easy thing. Fix up the technical mistakes. Fix up the technical mistakes. Just make sure there's no more 404 errors onto the site. Just improve the H1s, improve, like, I guess, what the page, if the site's about Canberra business, Canberra home builders, make sure that most pages are to do with that. I noticed there's a lot of like fluff pages on there and just a lot of dead internal linking. The structure of the site wasn't the best. So it's definitely more a technical problem. Then I'd focus on the links later down the track. And again, the disavow links, possibly.
Okay, well, that's, yeah. I guess as in my experience, I'm sure everyone's experience, when you do that work, you fix those technical issues, and, you know, we do see the results. So it's definitely worth them going away and starting to do some of that work, that tech SEO work. So
100%. And additionally, I think local citations as well for like this kind of business, in like getting listed in like high quality local directories, Google My Business, that type of thing. Currently, like, they have an ORM issue. Like, it's little things like that that I think really can propel this business. Again, it's more local SEO focused. So you're definitely going to be looking at more local SEO ranking factors. And I think just, you know, more content that's, I guess, relevant, keyword based, keyword focused, based on keyword research. And yeah, getting local citation links to the site should do quite well.
It's a good point about the local citation. I mean, of course, traditionally we always talked about that as local SEO, I guess. But I mean, in general, it's really all about your name, address, phone number, and you're making sure you're listed properly in your, you know, the NAP sort of thing, and making sure that your business appears properly, Google My Business. Also, it's just kind of a practical thing of being listed in the most relevant local website directories. It's kind of this really basic thing to go and do, but to make sure that information is correct and accurate. So I'd back you up on that one. I've got a question here from one of our viewers. Yeah, thanks so much for doing that, Dejan. I'll throw this one over to Sona, and one of our viewers had a question. So Trupti had a question about short tail keyword strategy. And in particular, the question here is that they're having trouble. Perhaps I'll just see if I can get back to this question. Short-tail keyword strategy is they're having trouble because they're off-page. They're saying here we can't use exact keyword for off-page, and so they're looking at short-tail. I mean, I'm not sure whether they're saying short-tail here or maybe long-tailed would be more appropriate, but I don't know. Do you have some comments, Sona, about long tail versus short tail, and what can you do rather than exact match keywords, things like that?
Okay. If the question is about the backlinks, about off-page, then using partial keywords is much better than exact terms. But if it makes sense to have an exact match keyword as an anchor text, then use it. If it doesn't, then don't use it, but use the URL. And if it is on page, so if it is short tail keyword, it's a little bit broad, you will need to analyze and get a group of other keywords which support short tail keyword. And then you'll get ranked for the short tail keyword also. But if it's only long tails are you can target in blogs, you can target in resources. Short tails are more broad, and you should use it. You should use it with a group of other keywords which support the short tail keywords. That strategy will help to rank. But if you don't have enough content on the website about that short tail keyword, you are not going to rank even with the only backlinks. So the core here is content on the website.
Okay. I also picked up on the question about if the keywords are for offsite, which implies that you're thinking about anchor text for your backlinks. And I definitely agree that using exact match anchor texts can land you in trouble if not done carefully. So I would always think about using the branded anchor text or the URL of the site, depending on the context. But that's something to think about, to get away from loading up your backlinks full of keywords. I would get away from that idea as much as possible. So now we're going to the next section of the webinar where we go around and I ask each guest for their 1 minute key takeaway, the SEO junk food. It's not really, it's just a bit quirky, but the idea is just wrap around. Let's go around and see. Just a very quick 1 minute. If there's one thing that our viewers could do in their SEO practices, what would it be? I mean, while we've got you here, Sona, maybe I'll start with you. What's your 1 minute takeaway for us?
It's making sure that the website is crawled correctly and that the bot sees the content on the actual page correctly, images, JavaScripts, and everything. That's number one for me. And then after the content. So.
Well, I think that's very practical and sensible, and it's probably the sort of thing that lots of people just don't do properly quite often, yeah?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you also, what's the best channel for people to connect to? Is it Twitter or LinkedIn? How do people connect with you?
LinkedIn is the best. So.
Okay. Search for you on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for your audit, and it's been terrific.
Thank you.
So I'll just move on to our next guest. So Paul, what's your 1 minute takeaway for us that people can do to improve their practices?
I think people just need to focus on page speed, to be honest with you. There's some really quick wins, some nice low-hanging fruit that a lot of website owners will be able to really take advantage of. And to be fair, I mean, for most WordPress site owners, there's lots of tools out there that can help them very quickly. So if you wanted a quick win, for most website owners, it'd be page speed as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Oh, nice one. Yeah, look, there's no doubt about it. The faster you can make your site, the better results we do see. So What's the best way for people to connect with you? What channel should they connect with?
Twitter or LinkedIn, either of those. They can get hold of me quite easily.
Okay, great. And thanks so much for joining us and doing that audit.
It's been my pleasure. So,
Dejan, what's your quick 1 minute takeaway for us, just to take us out for the end of the show?
So quick wins. We have that. We use it in the office quite regularly, and we use that as a low-hanging fruit. So, ranking positions 4 to 10. I mean, sometimes going through, look where you're ranking 4 to 10. Look at your competitors. I mean, can you add more content? Should you build more links? Should you use more internal links to the site to point to that page to put it up the ranks? It's very, very quick and easy wins. Google's already rewarding you for position 4 to 10. It's not going to take too much to go up the ranks, and it could mean a major CTR boost for that specific landing page. So I think that could be something people could take away and implement right away.
Well, that's a good tactic for people. So how do they stay in contact, or how do people connect with you if they want to make contact?
So you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter, like Paul. Feel free. Don't be shy. Say hi.
Yep.
And we can be in touch.
Well, thanks again, Dejan, and the rest of the panel. I'll just do a quick plug for next month. Next month, we have Aleda Solis joining us, Judith Lewis, and James Norquay. So that should be another terrific episode coming up next month. But in the meantime, thanks again to our panel. Thanks to everybody, all of our viewers in the whole of Australia, Asia, and Pacific region. It's great to be reaching out right across the whole of APAC and helping the community with these audits. So with that, I'll say thanks again and see you next time. Bye-bye.